This is the ultimate mitrailleuse de découvert AMD Model 1935. It's the light French reconnaissance 4x4 armored car built for cavalry units prior to World War II. It was crewed by 4 individuals and armed with a powerful 25mm SA-35 L72 tank gun. The AMD Model 1935 had been kept up as light as possible to fulfill its role as an effective long-range reconnaissance vehicle. The mobility was impressive for the time, at a top speed of 72 km per hour, a cruising speed of 47 km per hour, and a practical range of approximately 300 km made possible by 2 fuel tanks. Following the fall of France in 1940, a few of these vehicles were taken over by the Germans and designated Panzerwagen P204F. In War Thunder, the AMD.35 is probably one of France's best tanks. It's fast, it has a good gun, and is very survivable. Pulling off flanks in this thing can be very devastating for the enemy team. I highly recommend playing this thing. This is the H.39, a very heavily upgraded version of the H.35 cavalry tank from 1939. Since cavalry units saw a faster tank, it was decided on October 1936 to modernize its current tanks by installing a more powerful engine. In 1937, a new prototype with a 120 horsepower engine was created in place of a 78 horsepower engine. The hull was stretched to provide enough space to accommodate it, resulting in a taller, nearly level engine deck. Aside from its episcopes, tails, and various radio sets, this included the gradual introduction of a larger 37mm SA-38 L35 tank gun from much improved anti-tank capabilities, providing 30mm of armor penetration at 1 km away. In War Thunder, the H.39 is a very mediocre tank from France. It has an okay engine, a not very good gun, but that armor is very good. If it's angled properly, it is impenetrable. This is the R.35 SA-38. It was the most common tank in the French armed forces at the start of World War II, with over 900 units in active service. The tank was doctrinally intended for infantry support, being fielded in infantry tank battalions. As such, the vehicle had a very poor anti-tank performance. Not all R-35s received the S-38 gun. Instead, H-35s and H-39s had priority in this aspect. A few were used by the French resistance during the fall of Paris in 1944. In War Thunder, the R-35 is basically the same as the H-39, decent engine, weak gun, but very good armor, and it's even better at angling due to its box-like chassis, making this thing even harder to kill. This is the St.Chamod. The St.Chamod was the second French tank to enter service during World War I. When the St.Chamod entered frontline service in 1917, many design flaws became apparent. Chief among these was the huge frontal overhang designed in an attempt to fit the 75mm Millet 1897 cannon at the front. This overhang had a tendency to get stuck into the ground and trenches, defeating the very purpose the tank was designed for. Because of this, along with the tank's crude, negative opinion of the tank, the St.Chamod was retired as soon as the war was over, with only a single example surviving to this day and preserved at the Musée des Blondies in running condition. In War Thunder, the St.Chamod is not very good. It's one of the slowest tanks in the game. Unsurprisingly, it has no armor, but if you can get a sniping position with this tank, then you might get a few kills. This is the AMR.35 ZT3. This tank was an upgraded version of the AMR.33 light tank, addressing the issues with tracks and suspension. Despite being larger and heavier, it was faster and more maneuverable thanks to the bigger engine and improved suspension. During the Battle of France in 1940, 167 of these tanks were in service, many equipped with the 13.2mm machine guns. A subservient called ZT3 was planned to carry a 25mm anti-tank gun, but only 10 were produced and issued before France surrendered. In War Thunder, the AMR is essentially the French version of the Italian L.33. Its gun is okay. It has a little bit more speed, and it's pretty small, so it can hide pretty well. Another perfect rat tank for War Thunder. This was my full review of France's 1.0 tank lineup. Soon I will be reviewing the 1.3 lineup. I think you can see what I'm doing here. If you're interested, subscribe, and keep a lookout.